Welcome to Real Life Johnsons with the Commissioner and Dr. T. We are excited about our podcast today entitled Do It Now. Glad to see you back, Commissioner.
Hey, I'm glad to be back. I hope y'all enjoyed that childhood trauma with Dr. Cynthia and Dr. T. Very informative, great conversation, so relevant in the times that we are dealing in today. And so we wanted to come in and just talk about Do It Now. This is something that's been on my heart, and I want to get us started because we're still in that first quarter of the year. Mm-hmm. A lot of folks have broken their resolutions. A lot of folks have kept their resolutions, and if it's such a time is now, is to do it. And I wanted to talk with Dr. T. We was going over a little about this topic a couple of days ago, but I think it's so relevant today, Dr. T.
Mm-hmm. It's important. I think people need a charge and a pushing.
Yeah.
You mentioned people start out with resolutions, commitments. And so people need to be motivated.
That's right.
To do it now. Isn't it? It's never going to be optimal conditions to do anything. You just have to make up in your mind and resolve that you're going to get something accomplished and do it.
Yeah, and it's so important. Because your mind, this right here will talk you out of so many things. It would have you, you said you set this goal for yourself. You started that lifing board that we told you about, and now I'm already in, and now I'm still going back to the other way. But what we want to tell you, you can get back on track. Mm-hmm. You can get back into it. It's about doing it now. And it's a story that I read about called Someone Else. And this is a famous person that people always talk about. But as I always say, someone else is going to do it. Someone else is going to work out for me. Someone else is going to buy that house. Someone else is going to get a car. Someone else is going to get that job. But no, it's on you. You can do it. Don't put it off. Don't let someone else be the subject of your whole life story. And I think that's so key because the socialization of the mindset will allow you to just say, okay, Dr. T, I tried it. I wrote everything down. I've been listening to Real Life Johnsons, and it's easy said than done. We're going to say, yes, it is, but do it now. Mm-hmm. We're going to say, because we've been through it. We know what tough times are. We know about starting something and then life happens and then you have to stop. But the goal is to never give up. Mm-hmm. Always believe in yourself. I was telling a group today, I said, always make some affirmations. Say, good things happen to me now. Good things will happen for me today. And I think that's very, very important as we move forward, as we look at it, Dr. T, that someone else, I call it someone else syndrome, is so prevalent in our society right now.
Mm-hmm. That's an urgency.
Yes.
To get things done. Someone said it, or maybe I read it, or maybe you told me.
Uh-huh.
When you're younger, it seems like time goes so slow. When you hit a certain age, it's like the years just start passing by. And, I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, when I was young, it was like forever.
Right.
But I felt like I hit 40. I look up and I'm like, woo.
Right.
I don't feel like I have a regret. I don't think they're like, if you can go back and change something, I can't think of anything top of mind that I would change. And I wouldn't want to be younger, right? Because I'm glad I grew up without social media. I'm glad I didn't have certain things because social media and some of the technology and things that middle, high school and on have to contend with is very distracting.
Right.
And so it's an urgency to do things. And an enemy of doing it now is I don't feel like it.
Right.
If I didn't feel like it, if I relied on doing things because I feel like it, I would probably
we feel it. We say,
I'd be a big girl.
Yeah, right. And we're doing multiple things right now because we like to explore. Mm-hmm. One thing I love about us as a couple is that you'll say something, want to do it. I may not feel it, but then I get involved and then we do it and I would say something and then we wind up really loving it because it's something new, it's adventuresome. And it doesn't get you off track of your main goals, but it adds to that, get it done, do it now. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's very, very important in where we are. And you mentioned something that really stuck out in my mind when you were talking is It's called something that Les Brown told me. He's called it It's only quality people.
That's good.
Only quality people. Your circle is so important.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, this is the end of February.
Mm-hmm.
You made your goals. You got that do it now attitude. But your network is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Build your network. Find the people where you want to go, where your goals are, and find people in that network that you can talk to. And only quality people.
That's real good.
Yeah, I think that's so relevant, so important, because the goal is you got to create the habit.
Mm-hmm.
He told me, he said, you got to do it 3 days in a row. You do it 3 days in a row. You write it down and you just keep doing it every day, every day, every day. And so you can move forward, because the do it now attitude will keep moving in your life and make things happen. I think that's very, very important. The other part was I had an acronym called HOPE. It's happiness. You're going to deal with opposition. You got to persevere, and you got to do your work in excellence. Mm-hmm. And I put that extra E on education. That's what hope means. It can be happiness, dealing with opposition, perseverance, excellence, and education. And so you incorporate that into your do it now spirit to make things happen and where you want to go, because you're not finished. The year is only 2 months into the year. Mm-hmm. So do it now is really what you got to focus on. Don't give up. That's why Real Life was created. We were created to inspire, to educate, and to just be an activist to you. Our job is to be, we're distractors. We're going to distract you from that wrong course. Yes, we're going to disrupt you as well, but I'd like to change up our words. And so we want to distract you from going off the right course. And that's a good distraction.
Good distraction.
But I want to say, I qualify, but I'll say disruptor. Okay. For people who now in the modern lexicon of using words and everything. Our goal is to disrupt just your normal way of doing things. Mm-hmm. And I think do it now, will help you to keep pushing where you need to go, because the road is not going to be easy, but the center of that, the person who walks this journey, the one who takes the road less traveled, is you. And that's why it's so important, Dr. T.
I think we emphasize it's not going to be easy, but you're gonna move in life regardless, right? Most things is not going to be awful.
Right.
The majority of your life is not awful, right?
Right.
So people focus on it's going to be hard, it's going to be rough. Well, I say you're gonna have challenges, because life, that's a part of life.
That's right.
How you embrace it, how you look at it, your fortitude to win is going to change. Is determined how you manage those challenges or those obstacles or those opportunities to learn. So if you're looking at it always, it's like it's going to be hard. It really is your mindset about it. Because with some of the things we encountered in the last year, I'm like, I refuse to look at that as a loss. No, we learned, right? This didn't go this way. So, okay, we learned. Let's retool, let's readjust, because I had to learn that there's just some mindset that you have to be successful in life, because every single one of us is going to have challenges. Every single one of us is going to deal with some things that we had never dealt with before. But your experience gives you an opportunity to attack that thing and win, right? And
that's right.
If you have a purpose and you have a goal, where you have come to this point in your life will help you, overcome the obstacles and achieve your goal.
Right.
And so in doing it now, there's some things that you're like, maybe I should have did that sooner.
Wow.
So all the it's almost like take a inventory, take a look at your life to see where you are and where you want to be. Are you on the trajectory to accomplish the goals and things that you want to do in life? And if not, then change the trajectory. Right. One thing you said, we'll try and do different things, because we don't want to be just one arena. We're multi-level or multi-dimensional. We might be playing pickleball. We master that. We do something else. We got to try something very hard.
Yeah.
Seemingly very difficult, but we want to get education around it, because it could be something that could potentially be great for us.
That's right.
But it's something that most people will never try.
Right.
We'll tell y'all what it is once we get good at it.
That's right. And you said something that's key is you got to harness your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
You got to put certain thoughts in certain boxes
Mm-hmm.
and practice, because negativity will always keep popping back
Right.
up. But your job is to move it to another level. Say, I'm highly favored.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't care what that thought is.
Right.
I'm highly favored.
Right.
Good things are going to happen to
Right.
me. Good things
Right.
are following
Right.
me.
Mm-hmm.
When those negative things pop up,
Mm-hmm.
you keep pushing. Or you call somebody in your network.
Mm-hmm.
Or you email us. You got information around here. You can ask us any type of question, and we will work on. If we don't, we research it out and try to help you. But you got to harness your thoughts to make sure you're moving in a productive manner that's progressing
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
and your community.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always going to bring it back to the community. You're the center of your community. You help it to grow. You help it to go. You help it to make things happen. But a lot of it's determined on where you are mentally. What is your socialization? What do you think? Because you have an obstacle, like Dr. T said, you just don't stop. You keep moving. You go back to your goals that you wrote down, and you get back on track. You harness those thoughts, and you move them to the side of the negative, and you keep bringing things back that's positive and what steps you had to take. And see, we're not telling you to do no big goals. I want you to practice on some small ones and get wins.
Mm-hmm.
Get a win.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Get some wins. It can be basically you want to start walking and exercising.
Mm-hmm.
You may do a 1 mile walk.
Mm-hmm.
You may do it for a couple of months. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then you may get up to 2 miles. Then you may get up to 3 miles. Then you may team up with folks and go up and down Stone Mountain. You may find ways that you want to just, and then you may join a walking club. You may start going to your rec center when it's cold and start going there and going to an exercise class. But those are things you got to give yourself a clap for, because you starting those things and you're moving forward in.
Right.
It can be you want to save money. You could say, okay, I want to start off with $20 a month.
Mm-hmm.
I want to save 20. You're now saving. You got $40 savings in February. You thank yourself. You say, man, I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't talk about these big things. You got to have $1,000, $10,000. Get those incremental small goals
Mm-hmm.
and watch how they start to add up.
Right.
And that's what me and Dr. T did. We started off in college and had to get our degree. Man, it was hard.
Mm-hmm.
It was rough. But man, once we got that first one, then I worked on that second one. Then she worked on her second one. Now she's working on her third one. You know, we know what to expect. We know what to anticipate. Plus, we didn't have all the technology we have today.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how to go to things and get references and sources, and you know how to cite different articles. That we used to had to go to the card catalog, the Dewey Decimal System, and do all those things by hand. But you can imagine how that was. But guess what? We graduated.
Mm-hmm.
And once you write that down, graduate
Mm-hmm.
to another level and make things happen. And the more your influence go up, the more enemies you get.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to keep moving and know you're going to have obstacles. You're going to have people come in front of you, but do it now.
Yeah.
Don't wait.
Don't wait. So when you talk about doing it now, you talked about taking action.
Yes.
Can you talk about a time when immediate action led to an unexpected opportunity?
Immediate action was when I think the Let's Move campaign was just starting out.
Mm-hmm.
It was our former First Lady, Michelle Obama. And it was going all across the country. And I wanted to do something in our community to get us going. And so I made walking the official exercise for the whole county. One of the first counties in the country to do it. And I told every citizen we want to lose 740,000 pounds. That's 1 pound per citizen to get us started. And I used that as a what you call a catalyst
Mm-hmm.
to start the walking movement in the district. And then after that, we started doing walk for the health of it.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden, boom, a trail popped up.
Right.
And I said, let's name this trail after Michelle Obama, the
Mm-hmm.
first trail in the country to be named after her. Now it's over 15 miles. Now about to get expanded to connect to another trail,
Right.
which will probably give us about 25 miles of trails that we can walk it, bike it, ride it. But that's an example.
Yeah.
That I would use. It started off as just a proclamation. It went from a proclamation to a walk, And then we started doing a walk every year. And then from the walk, it was how do we incorporate different things? We got the Intergenerational Center, which is a $12 million facility. And then it went to a walking trail. Now people are walking on the trail.
That's right.
But it started off small.
Okay. So somebody's gonna watch or listen to this, and they're gonna say, "What one step, Commissioner Honorable? What one step can I take right now to change the trajectory of my life?"
You got to mentally see the change. That's your first step. You got to mentally see the change. You write down, I want to do X. And then when you write it down, what I've always done is I always saw myself in that moment doing that. That's the first step. And then you got to look at that every day and say it and walk through that goal and keep going with it. And every day you got to visualize yourself doing it and see yourself winning. It takes, remember, your mind doesn't know what's real and not real. It's what you're telling it.
Right.
You can have a fear of something and never seen it before in your life, but you can also have a goal that you can imagine in your mind that you can do it and make it happen. I read something that said creativity is infinite intelligence. Comfort zone is where your dreams and aspirations go to die. Get that comfort zone thinking out the way. Build on your creativity. So the first thing is visualization. You got to see yourself doing it now. If you don't see yourself doing it and you wrote it down and you keep moving and you manifest it and moving forward, I think that's the first step, Dr. T. And I wouldn't complicate this thing. I'm not going to tell you to keep moving forward. I think it's something that, since we talk about do it now, something I think I want us to build on in like a month or two. And that the first one will be visualization. Write it down, visualize it, and you start walking in it. You start speaking in it. And guess what? After you see yourself in it, I'm going to tell you, your mind start going in places saying, oh, wow, I see myself on the job that I want. I see myself owning this business. And then you start seeing the widgets and the products that you're selling. You start seeing the people coming in who are buying your products. Then you start seeing your products on all these different shelves from all these different department stores. Then you see yourself online, people buying your products and all these things that happen. Then you see yourself writing a book on how you move to do these type of things. And people are coming up to you saying how your product helped their lives to be so how they are. And then you take that product and that success and you didn't stop. You then move to a whole nother level where you now have you move to an office space. You got all these people hired. You got people working under you, from vice presidents to managers to coordinators. And then you keep moving up those ladders. And I see it now for you. And so you got to visualize it and keep seeing it, because that's your motivation.
Visualization is very powerful.
Yeah.
So even when you begin to develop these great habits and you begin to take action and you begin to visualize, this week, you don't have to go into detail necessarily if you don't want to. You had an opportunity, and initially when it presented itself, you were like, I don't know, right?
Right.
What happened to shift you from I don't know to a firm yes, and then when you went, it was life changing? Because
what I learned in just 2 days is that you got to let your heart overcome your mind. Because in my mind, I'm comfortable. In my mind, I wasn't planning on doing nothing with those 2 days anyway. But in my mind, I said, I don't want to do that. But the heart said, you have to move. It said, do it now. So it didn't take me that long. Because over the couple of hours I thought about it, I said, let's move, Dr. T, let's go. And those two going and making that decision to go, because she said it. She let me know about it. She talked about it being an opportunity. That's why you got to have a good support system. Because most people would have took you saying no and just moved on. But when the person you're connected to know your potential, know where you're trying to go, they're going to keep pressing on you to make sure this may be something that they ain't gonna nag you. They're gonna say, this, look at this, see how this works, how these things are going. And then it was the best 2 days I would say, of my life, which led us to this Do It Now talk that we're doing today. And so I tell you, but Les Brown, he did it for me. Going and being in that room with him and with two other good folks who were doing servant leader work was a very exciting opportunity. But it just helped me to just hone in on what my focus needed to be, because sometimes this up here, it happens to the best of us, but you got to go with this. And that's why the Do It Now spirit is hard work, HARD, and heart work, HEART. It's hard and it's going to be of the heart, but you got to go with your heart. You got to let your heart win over your mind every time. And guess what? You're going to rise to the occasion, because once you step out and get out of that comfort zone that we talked about, and that comfort zone is where dreams and inspirations go to die. You get out of that, watch what happened to you. Because Do It Now is going to be something that you move forward in. And it's not going to be one of those things where every time you see something, you just jump at it. You still have that heart will tell you which steps you need to take. That's why the visualization part is very good, and having a support network like I got, they can see things sometimes I can't see. And it's vice versa with her. I could see things she can't see, and I make recommendations, and boom, this lady started doing it, and we just started moving in it. That's how real life started. We just, she got the system called Mevo, and we just started doing it, moving forward, having our talks and just connecting with people. It was really, really good. It's just that life got in front of us and we just got busy. And now, we're coming back to it. But guess what? We're doing a podcast, y'all. Talking to you every week about tools, about advocacy, about education, inspiring you to be the best you can be.
I love it. There's always there's something you're doing now that you didn't used to do.
Mm-hmm.
And probably some mindsets that you didn't have that you now have. Mm. What is something that you're doing now that you wish you would have done sooner?
Not give the haters of the opposition so much credit, because I was leading with my head instead of my heart. I could have pushed more further with initiatives, more personal goals, but you get in the bubble. And we all do this because you get caught up with that audience, and they try to, and you say they're not dictating and all that, but you have certain amount of feelings that you always think about. But now I would say, man, you got to press on. You got to go for it, because if I would have just listened to those folks, I wouldn't be sitting here today. I go back and now, like my talk I did today at the church, I think about some of the things I got accomplished. I didn't wait on the committee. I didn't talk about what the person didn't do in the past. I just knew that it had to get done. And I did it now. And guess what? Doing it now, people get to walk without getting hit by cars. People get to exercise. People get to play ball, get to play tennis in an area they thought was going down. They have a new $12 million swimming pool with a nice clubhouse. But you had to move. You had to do it. And it was in the midst of all of these calamities going around. And I tell people, we had AIDS, we had Ebola, we had the Great Recession, all of these obstacles that based on the mind, you need to focus on that, and COVID. But no, you still had to keep moving.
Right.
That's when the heart kicks in. Yes, Larry, I see that. We see that. But what do you have in your goals? What is your do it now? Don't stop. And so that's what would be one of the main things that I'll tell to the folks here. Don't let that stop you. The opposition gonna come, the haters gonna come, but you got to keep moving, because they don't build statues of critics. You don't see one statue built in any city, any town of a critic. They build statues of champions, people that get stuff done, and that's you. Do it now. It's the second month of the year. Don't go back on your goals. Keep moving forward. Visualize where you need to go, and you make it happen.
Visualization is a powerful tool, and some people are thinking, Commissioner, you've done some major things, some big things as a commissioner and a community leader. But Dr. T, I have to bring it to more practical. I had a goal to lose weight. I had a goal to change my lifestyle altogether. And I had did some level of exercise before, but I could never get the eating right. And then I went through a transformation program in November, but I knew I could get my goal faster if I consistently exercise. Now, Commissioner is serious about that walking like 5 or 6 days a week. No, without fail, as long as I've known him. And I would do it maybe 1 or 2 times a week. When something kicked in, it was like exercise is the link to you getting to where you need to be. I knew that I enjoy certain types of exercise. Like I got an exercise bike and I do it sometimes, but I enjoy being outside and I enjoy walking. Now we got a trail around the neighborhood that's, it's all right. But I really like going to Stone Mountain. We're in that vicinity.
Right.
Commission was like, I ain't going to Stone Mountain. And so I was intentional. I said, Lord, you got to send me somebody that likes to go to the mountain. So in one of my programs, I met someone that wanted to go to the mountains. She was like, I can never get my husband to go.
But she manifested.
The likelihood, right, of someone that wanted same area, same group, all of that, same goal,
no coincidence.
needed an accountability partner, right? And so my goal was just to go to the mountain a couple of times a week, right? That first time up the mountain, it's about a mile up and a mile down.
Right.
If you don't live in the Metro Atlanta area near Stone Mountain, it's a mountain, right? And it's an incline, right?
Right, that's right.
And it's steeper as it goes up. And then there's a rail that you have to go up, right? You go up the rail and then you got another, 1,000 feet?
Yeah, that's it.
It's a mountain, right? The first time up the mountain, I was like, I'm going to die.
Yeah. It's hard.
It is very challenging. If you get into a certain exercise regimen and you're trying to lose weight, you want to go through your zones.
Right.
You're going through every zone up the mountain. So my friend and I went up that mountain. It was like, oh my God, we're not doing this again. Then by November, we're going up and down that mountain 3 or 4 times, 2 or 3 times a week. Well, today we were like, we're going to go around the mountain. I was thinking around the mountain, right? It was flat. Mm-hmm. No, people. It's an incline up the mountain, around the mountain. It's 5 miles up and down the mountain. It's 1 mile up and 1 mile down. Piece of cake. We went around 5 miles. Every mile, I was like, "Is it?" What?
Yeah, you reread it like it never ends.
My goodness! And so I was like, "Why am I out of breath?" But I could see the mountain. So you think you're going around a mountain, but you're going
right.
You know what I mean? It was hard. It was so hard, and I wanted to quit.
Yeah.
But I didn't quit.
You didn't quit.
I didn't quit. I was out of breath. But when I finished, I felt so good. But my mind, I wanted to quit.
In your mind.
After that first mile, I was like, we got to go back. And you saw every level of person. We saw, casual walkers. We saw power walkers. We saw runners, every age, everything.
Everybody was
at a different level. And nobody was paying attention. But the thing that helped was I had a buddy, right? Sometimes you got to grace you to go through your challenge or this season, whatever it is, with a buddy or an accountability person. And the commissioner talked about support.
Yes.
And that was the one thing that made this challenge, less of a challenge because I had somebody with me that was going through it. But, now we finished. We're like, oh, we can do this every Sunday, right? So you find, and so at some point it won't be as difficult as it was
it's
today.
Get easy.
Right. And so I'll tell you that someone said the journey to 1,000 miles begins with a step.
One step.
And so in doing it now, just take the first step. The commissioner talked about the power of visualization. Like if you can see it, you can be it, right? If it's never been there, so many things people say you could never do. Like they would never say you could never climb Mount Everest. So many people have climbed Mount Everest now. I always say when people tell me I can't do something, I'm going to figure out a way to do it.
That's right.
So do it now means you get to determine what this life that you want looks like. And I heard Les Brown say, God, life is God's gift to us. What we do and make of this life is our gift to God. Yes. And so you determine what this purpose is God has given you, and then you go fulfill it.
Yes.
And you can do it.
That's it. That's why we said do it now. It's all part of your plan. It's part of what you have to do. This is the second month. This is a strong month for you. You're right where you need to be. You don't just sit. Don't step back. Keep pressing forward. Visualize it. Make sure you understand. You harness those negative thoughts. Put them to the side. And make sure you have your affirmations on where you want to be. You're highly favored.
Yes.
Good things happen to you because you're in the room. You step out and you keep moving forward. And you got to have a heart. Don't go with the head. Have a heart. Follow your heart, and you're going to be fine. And so we just want to thank you for tuning in to Real Life with Dr. T and Commissioner Johnson. We're just here to make a difference. And we just thank you for always tuning in and being a part of our podcast. It's amazing what we're doing. I'm enlightened. I feel good. I mean, I wanted to make sure that we continue to do something that's going to be a light to you and our community. And we just thank you.
Yes, thank you all. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.